Welcome to my views and news. An important topic for this video, viewers. Topic is, what is PM Abiy's intention? What are his plans regarding the conflict which is escalating within the church? What does he want? And secondly, what is his role? How much is the government involved in this conflict, and what is the end game here? What does he want? Is he in a difficult situation? People say that government is in danger, government could be overthrown. I don't agree. I think let me first give you a roundup of what happened in the past few days, and then what PM Abiy said a few hours ago while addressing his ministers. Then we'll sum up what is his actual planning, and is he in a difficult position because of pressure from the two sides. Firstly, it started when the three archbishops, Abune Sarios, and two others rebelled, you can say. They made some appointments in the Oromia region of Ethiopia. They said that Afan Oromo language should be used in Oromia. There should be equal distribution of resources, and there should be equal representation of all ethnicities at the Holy Synod within the church. They made appointments of 26 archbishops, 26 bishops, mostly in Oromia. One of the bishops apologized to the Holy Synod, so 25 were left. And Holy Synod held a meeting. Patriarch, they condemned the appointments. Government tried to intervene. Government sent Minister of Defense Abraham Bale. Meeting was held between the government ministers and Holy Synod Patriarch. But Holy Synod took a strong position. It said that church's law was violated. That is why it will show no restraint. That is what happened. Government's delegation returned empty-handed, and then archbishops from across the world arrived in Addis Ababa. Meetings were held, and Holy Synod, Patriarch, all revoked titles of the three archbishops and 25 bishops. International institutions, Orthodox from Syria, India, Armenia, Eritrea, Egypt, they supported Orthodox Church led by Abune Matthias. The other side refused to apologize, which was being demanded by the Holy Synod of Abune Matthias. They revoked titles of archbishops of the Holy Synod. And since then, we are seeing that fight for control of churches is ongoing in the Oromia region of Ethiopia. Abune Petros spoke yesterday. Before that, Abune Gabriel was appointed as West Valaga Archbishop from the three breakaway archbishops. And we are seeing that he has banned Amharic there. All services, all correspondence is being done in Afan Oromo language. And he announced that this new group will take over all churches in Oromia, in neighboring regions as well. Then yesterday, three important statements. First one was from Abune Petros, Secretary General of the Orthodox, the Holy Synod. He said that government was in a way supporting the new faction, because the new faction was breaking in churches and taking over churches. Government was not taking action. Then spoke Abune Matthias, the Patriarch. He said that only institution which was binding Ethiopians together was the church, and it was now being broken down by some powers. And then lastly, PM Abiy spoke at night. Not at night. In the day, he was addressing his ministers. What did he say? Very important. PM Abiy firstly talked about his favors which he did to the church. He said that Dergs removed patriarch appointed by Haile Selassie. And TPLF, when it took office, it took power in 1991, it removed, it sent into exile, it forced into exile the patriarch appointed by Dergs. But his government did not do such things. Rather, his government tried to create reconciliation. The exiled patriarch was contacted. He returned to Ethiopia. Appointments made in the US of some bishops, they were also accepted with the parties. So he united the church, unlike other governments of the past. He said, firstly, he said that church properties were recovered, came back under church control. He allocated large areas of land to the church. Secondly, he compared Tegarai's announcement of relative split with the Orthodox Church and this one, Oromo split. He said Tegarai, when announced split, no one cared, but now everyone is talking about this split. Here, I think it is unfair. Why? Because Tegarai did not announce split in ordinary circumstances. There was war there. Tigray has not formed Holy Synod so far, separate synod. It has not appointed new patriarch. It did, I think, establish patriarchate office though. And there was war. And Tigray was accusing the bishops, the archbishops, the fathers of the Holy Synod, Orthodox Church, they blessed the war. That is why Tigray was disgruntled, frustrated. It announced a split. On the other hand, Oromo case is different. Oromo archbishops, they say their language, their ethnicity is being denied. They don't have equal representation at the Holy Synod. So he tried to create false narratives, I think, here. False equivalences here. Thirdly, he said that the issue of Oromo issue at the church came up around 3 years ago, when Oromo part of the Orthodox Church raised similar questions about representation. And back then he advised the parties to sit at the table and resolve the issue. They sat, issue could not be resolved. And if people of Oromia, they want to preach, they want to pray in their language, who are others to object? So in a way, PM Abiy supported the position of the new splinter faction. Thirdly, he accused church, 3 allegations. He said church should be free from ethnicity, politics and theft, corruption. Are there these 3 things in the church? Corruption, ethnicity and politics involved. That is why he's saying, yes, I think he's accusing the church that politics is involved in the church. Ethnicity has a role as well, and corruption there too. He asked all the parties, the 2 sides, to sit and talk. He said government was ready to be part of the resolution if government is asked to play its role. But he advised his ministers that they must not be part of any interference in church's internal matters. He talked about attempts to overthrow his governments too. He said some people within the country in positions of power, they want to overthrow the government, but it won't happen, he clearly said. Now, what PM Abiy is saying is that both sides have genuine reservations and questions. So he is supporting the questions raised by Oromo splinter faction. What does Abune Matthias led Church and Holy Synod want from the government? We have seen two statements from this faction. They say that church laws must be respected. And the three archbishops, they have violated the law. That is why they should be held accountable. Firstly, and secondly, they say that the way churches in Oromia are being taken over by this new faction, it should be stopped by the government. But government is not intervening in support of the position of Orthodox Church led by Abune Matthias. It's very clear. Government says it's an internal issue of the church. The two sides will have to sit at the table. Two sides are taking strong positions. Abune Matthias led a side wants the other side to apologize. It wants three archbishops, 25 bishops to apologize and then talk. The other side wants the same as well. It wants archbishops, part of Holy Synod, to apologize. It means both are sticking to their positions. Question is, what is government's role? What does PM Abiy want? Is government in danger? Government is not in danger. Some analysts say that PM Abiy could be overthrown, his government will be weakened. No, I've been saying from day one, when this conflict started, that a weak church suits PM Abiy. Only centralized and united institution in Ethiopia is the church, Orthodox Church, and perhaps military largely being rebuilt. So the church definitely poses a threat to PM Abiy's rule. If church is split, it suits PM Abiy's future politics. Question is now, what does he want? Does he want a separate Oromia Synod, separate Oromia Patriarch? Or does he want some sort of reconciliation? I think both scenarios suit him. If Oromo archbishops elect new patriarch, if they form new synod, it suits him. People in Oromia will appreciate PM Abiy for this move. His popularity in Oromia will increase. Yes, ethnic Amharas will criticize him, but he'll say that he's helpless, that he does not want to interfere in his matters. And the other scenario is that there is reconciliation. The two sides sit at the table. Patriarch, Holy Synod make some concessions, which they'll have to make. And they adjust Oromos at Holy Synod in apartments. Even that scenario suits him as well. Again, in Oromia, he'll be seen as someone who fought for the rights of Oromo people. His popularity will definitely shoot in Oromia. So both scenarios suit him. You see what happened when Oromia flag was being hoisted, Oromia anthem was being sung at Addis Ababa schools. The conflict went on for months. There were clashes, students involved, teachers, parents. It is several videos back then. Then Amharas took strong positions. We saw statements from Azima, from Baldiras, from Amhara leaders. And suddenly, government stepped in. PM Abiy told Shimalis Abdisa to stop the practice. It stopped. So in a way, he used the issue to put pressure upon the other side. He could be using this issue with the church to put pressure upon the church, the Holy Synod especially. Because church under pressure will make compromises, will make concessions to adjust the new faction. So all scenarios suit him. And I personally think that Abune Matthias is now acceptable. to ethnic Amharas and to PM Abiy as well. Problem is Holy Synod. Abune Matthias is not in a position to assert himself as a Tigrayan because Tigray has lost the political significance which it had in Ethiopia. Holy Synod now matter. And members of Holy Synod like Abune Abraham, Abune Petros, two most powerful. Where are they from? Amhara region. Bahirdar, one is from Bahirdar, other is from Amhara region as well. So Holy Synod is powerful now. Holy Synod is being controlled by some top archbishops from Amhara region of Ethiopia. Patriarch is not an issue, I think. Patriarch is acceptable to PM Abiy, maybe to Oromo faction as well, led by Abune Sarios. Problem is Holy Synod, where there is less representation of the other faction. So PM Abiy said that all should follow the path of Abune Matthias. When Abune Matthias agreed to reconcile with the patriarch in exile and reconciliation was achieved. So in a way, he is putting pressure upon the Holy Synod as well. The Holy Synod should listen to Abune Matthias and there should be some relaxation, some compromises and talks should be had. Overall, this entire scenario suits PM Abiy's government. There is no danger for the government. Government is becoming stronger. Ethnic Amhara political elite will be weakened, it seems. Oromos are asserting themselves in all walks of life. They say their rights were denied in the past. They are fighting for their rights which they are entitled to have. Let's see what happens. I think the Abune Matthias-led faction will have to make some compromises to start negotiations with the other side. Thank you for watching.